Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh.
Hockey Fan Report! Aloha! I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I am your host on the Blue Note Fan Report. I was kind of looking kind of weird. Thought maybe the voice in the film wasn't adding up, but it looks like it's okay, I think. Yeah, it looks okay. Sometimes you get a little bit of delay. We got Guido here, Jeff Horseman going. Wild and Preds is a great game. Yes, it is. It is a game that has a lot of implications on the Blues. Right now, the Predators, who were at one point were just etching on the Blues. I mean, they were right there trying to push the Blues down into that wild card spot. Now there's a little bit more room, but they are helping us because this is the game in hand that the Wild have. And they're pushing it down. So they're going to get it within that 3-point range. And that just means that game on Friday. Ashley will be on in just a little bit. No problem, Ash. We'll see you when you get here. Means that game on Friday is just going to have so much more of a input. I mean, it's going to be huge, right? We play the Wild twice more this season in our building. They are the Blues are 10-1-1 against the Avalanche or the Lightning in the last 12 games. It's like 7, 8, 9, 10, going back into 2020, 1920. But when you see this, you just got to understand that I think the Blues are sitting in a very, very good position right now. When everybody's going, oh no, we're in the wild card spot. Help me. The Blues are playing too bad. I don't understand it.
Well, this goes back to what I said a few weeks ago when I kind of went on a rant about how we need to focus on our game and not worry about what's going on around us.
Yep. Have to say your show is the coolest. Love the passion. I appreciate that, Maddie. I really do. I didn't. Hey, Maddie, you need to send me the link to your show with the one you and me did. I was looking for it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being dumb. I couldn't find it. I'd like to be able to share it in my groups and things like that and let people have a chance to look at it. I know they would love it. And I know Maddie's excited about Tony.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. We didn't get connected today, but I'm going to give him a call tomorrow, get that fixed up. It's going to happen Thursday. I'm going to make it happen Thursday. If I got to fly to St. Louis and put a damn phone in Tony's hand to make it happen, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen on Thursday.
I mean, I might be the cheaper option, just saying.
Say again?
I might be the cheaper option.
Well, then I'll make you go do it. But no, it's Tony Twist for me. And I just want to go on this a little bit, right? Tony Twist is that guy when it comes to the NHL. It's like this, and I might tell this then. They once asked Mike Tyson if you were ever afraid of anybody hitting you, and I'm sure in the back of his head he's going, without even thinking, going Tony Twist. Right? I mean, that's what this man was. And he was Bob Probert. He was Kelly Chase. He was Craig Berube. I mean, he was Tiger Williams. He was those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was those guys. I'm on vacation in Disney. I'll have it out this Tuesday. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. So he hasn't posted it yet. But when he does, it's great. What do we want to win out of the Preds or the Wild? The Preds. Not even second thought, right? I want because right now you have to understand that this is why I know, Ashley, I know you get on me a little bit about my fascination with points percentage, right? But there's other things that are connected with points percentage that people don't really connect to, right? One of the things is the fact that we have these two games in hand, right? And then not in hand, but against each other. As long as you can stay within that 4-point margin, you win the two games. You leap ahead of them. It's that simple. It doesn't matter what else they do as long as you stay in that margin. Well, if the Preds, who have gotten 3 power play goals, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, 3 power play goals tonight, win this game, that puts that margin at 3 points, right? The Preds winning this game takes them from 82 to 84 points. They're still 4 points behind the Blues with an even record. Right? So whatever, I mean, really, if the Blues just play 500 hockey, they're at 100 points. Right? That's it. And 100 points is going to put you in that third slot. Minimum, if not second. Right? Oh, I got Kenny's loving me today. Tony was with Quebec. Yes, he was. Tony had an interesting career. So Tony was drafted by St. Louis. We'll talk a little bit about this. Played for a year with St. Louis and then got traded to Quebec. Played 3 or 4 years with Quebec and then came back to St. Louis as a free agent. Right? One of those guys that came back to St. Louis as a free agent and had 5 great years. And if he doesn't have that motorcycle accident, it's the what if. But to me, if his career continues, he's going to be one of those. Right? The Bruins aren't 5th in the East; they're 4th. Well, maybe they're 5th overall, but I'm not looking at that. You see, I talked about this a little bit, and I kind of had me and Maddie talked about this a little bit. I said that the Central was the best division in hockey, and I got people looking at me like really weird. What were you talking about? Look at the East. Okay, you look at the Atlantic, you look at the Metro. They're top heavy, right? There's no middle there. Right? The Atlantic's getting 4 teams. The Metro is getting 4 teams. The Central is getting 5 teams in the playoffs. I mean, there's a chance that 4 of them make it to the second round. Right? And you look at me and go, or 3 of them make it to the second round. 4 of them can't. But 3 of them could easily make it to the second round.
Absolutely.
Right? And that is, yes, I did see that today. I think that's a really interesting thing. I like the 1-day contracts. I really do. I think that they give that player that chance to say, come back to that team that he was connected to and go, look, man, I just want you to know that what you mean to me. And that's what that 1-day contract does. The 1-day contract is for 0 money. It does nothing but allows him to retire. The money that wherever he was, it doesn't go on any books. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's just a neat thing that they allow, and I love it. Twister and Rivs are besties. I can see that. Rivers wasn't the mucker that Twister was, but he was an instigator. He was the guy that got under your skin. He was that guy.
He was definitely an antagonist.
Twist, on the other hand, excuse me, he was the guy that did Rivers betting. Rivers would get you under the skin, and as soon as you went out to do something, Twist would come on the ice and pound you. Right? The Blues did it for Backus. Yes, that was I think a really smart move. Backus is one of those guys that it needed to get done for. Backus is somebody I'm working on. Hopingly, I'm working on him. It's not the greatest. I'm working on it. His kids call him Uncle Tony. Yeah, I think Kevin, you have a connection with Rivers, if I remember right. I think somebody told me that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, where are we at? I was happy to see the okay. I think I'm caught up on comments. I do need to say one thing real quick, non-hockey related, but show related.
Okay.
Right. If I'm getting worried about showing Facebook comments. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm really concerned about it. The problem is I don't have the proof. So if somebody contacts you from Facebook, and I won't say the name of the person, and tells you that I did something, please save those text messages, save that and send it to me. Mm-hmm. It is the proof I need to show to Facebook that this person is doing that to stop them from doing it. Mm-hmm. Right? I have reached out to Facebook. I have told them what they're doing. The first question they asked was, where's the proof? I said, well, this person's blocked me and they're doing it behind my back. So I don't have the proof other than people telling me that. Well, can you get the screenshots? Most of them are so freaked out by her, they delete them. They block her and delete it. And that's where I'm kind of stuck. So, I mean, I hate to bring that up, but it needs to be brought up. I got to bring it up a couple of different times until it happens. Oh, Maddie, we loved having you on when you were on, bud. We absolutely did. And anytime you want to come on, you're more than welcome, my friend. Yes, okay, friends with Rivs. So I get that, and I appreciate that. I've talked to Rivers a couple of times. Had private conversations with him. Had him on the show once. Would like to get him back on, but he's so busy right now. There's no way it's gonna.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Maybe in the off season I can get him on again. I'd really love to actually get to talk to him about the Spetsnaz line.
Mm-hmm. Give him a bunch of trouble about what he said there.
Right. Come on, baby. Let's do the Tony, do the twist. Take me to my little hand and go like this. No, actually, that's not the song that I was thinking for Tony. Right. I think I have the perfect song to play for Tony's intro. You ready? Would that be?
Yep.
Here comes the boom. Right. I think that's the right song to say.
I mean, yes. I mean, I like either option, though, because whenever I think of him, I always thought I'd do the twist as well.
Yeah, but
that's just a play on his name, though. So Here Comes the Boom works, too.
Yeah, Here Comes the Boom. That's just, I mean, when you think about it. Boom! Boom! Because that's what he was. The guy cracked the helmet, split a helmet in half. Mm-hmm. I have hockey helmets. I have a real hockey helmet here. You're not splitting that in half with a sledgehammer. Okay? He split one in half. Right? And Maddie, let me see if I can send you a link because you're on YouTube right now and it makes it a little bit harder for me. But I'll see if I can send you a link here real quick. We love that. I mean, if you got time to join us, we'd love to.
Absolutely. Especially with him being in Disney right now.
Yeah, the land of the mouse. Let's see, where am I at? But here's one thing that I'm gonna have to start doing. I am gonna have to start limiting who comes on the show to actual YouTubers. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, to hockey personalities. Because of what's happening, I'm gonna limit it, and I'm gonna make sure. And I don't mean to do that. I don't want to do that, but I have to do it to protect you, mm-hmm. Right? I have to do it all to protect you. It's not me. Okay. I know where I'm at. I know where I stand. I have to protect you. And the fact that, someone's out there doing this really makes it bad. Even with Star Wars, I have no desire to go to Disney. Yeah, I can see that. Some people, Disney is taking political stance that some people don't like. We're not going to get into that.
Oh, I just don't like crowds like that. I don't want to stand in line for hours for rides, pay that much money. Has nothing to do with their political beliefs. It's just not my atmosphere.
Yeah, I can see that. We all have your back, guy. You do what's best for you. And Tammy, I appreciate that. But, I got to protect you, Tammy. I mean, you're one of my staunchest fans. I would hate to lose you because someone contacts you out of the blue, which originally should be a red flag. right? That should be a red flag to somebody. Someone who takes me out of the blue to say something about somebody else is an automatic red fucking flag. Sorry, should have beat myself. But oh, by the way, I'm going to allow some cursing on the show now, and in the chat. I may not always show it, but I'm going to allow you to do it. Right? I've had that brought up. I still want to be professional, but we all have our mistakes. Maddie!
Hey.
How you doing, bud?
Guy and Ashley, thank you for having me.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Well, you guys have good posts going on about Tony Twist. That's exciting, man. Like you said, cracking helmets and fighting the great Bob Probert, and not really scared of him at all. Big tough guy too. And you're right about what happened with him in his motorcycle accident. He tore everything up in his legs.
Yeah.
You know, if that didn't happen, he'd just be an enforcer for the ages.
If that doesn't happen, Tony Twist is one of those guys that should. If that doesn't happen, Tony Twist would go down in the annals as one of the greatest. He would go down with Tiger Williams. He would go down with Bob Probert. He would go down with the likes of Kelly Chase. He would go down as one of those guys, or even Craig Berube, right? I mean, that's what Berube is known for, right?
Well, you know what it is too is I think it's kind of like, if you think about it, if you know who he is, Bo Jackson, one of the greatest two sport players of all time.
Yeah.
Hurts his hip, normal play, and he never had a career after that. You look at Tony Twist, same thing, motorcycle, and then his career just never went.
Right. Yeah.
But still one of the toughest guys in the NHL for sure.
Right. When I met Twist, and I met when I met him in St. Louis. Now, I remember I had a broken hand, so my hands were not, I hadn't been able to pick things up, so my hands weren't strong to begin with, and I have smaller, hands for a man. I don't have really big, beefy hands, so, my body strength is all in my legs. He shook my hand, and it wasn't like he put any pressure. It was like it was in a vice grip. I mean, the man, it was like it was in a vice grip, and he put no pressure to it whatsoever, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is, I mean, it was just the power that you could get from it. And I do want to talk to him a little bit about the motorcycle accident, because, you got to understand what this guy was to begin with. And to have a career like that just taken out from under your, there are guys that would, Brett Hull, when he went to Dallas, if Tony Twist was still there, would have gotten Dallas to bring Twist to Dallas. I almost know that for a fact, right? I'm insinuating it, but I'm to the point where, that's what would have happened, right? Because he knew he was able to do things he did because Twist was there, right? I mean, he was able to have that space, to have that, because if you got in Brett's way, Twist was coming. And Twist hit you, it was like you got hit, here comes the boom. It was just, wow. And you watch any of his fights, and you just see him, he doesn't take it. I mean, his hand starts here, and I know it's kind of hard to see in the thing, but his hand starts here, and you realize that he ends up pulling his hand all the way back to New Jersey and coming all the way through to hit you in a moment, right? It was absolutely amazing experience to get. Like, I know guys would say it was amazing. It was like, wow, he just hit me and I went straight down because I didn't want to get hit again. Right? I mean, how often do you hear NHL players say that? Right? I went down because I did not want to get hit again. Right? I mean, come on.
Well, it's like McSorley went with Gretzky to Los Angeles. It's the same thing. McSorley had his moments, but what would Wayne Gretzky be without McSorley? Same situation, but Twist was a little bit more, should I say, he packed a punch. McSorley kind of just was like, couple punches, you're done. But Twist made you feel it.
Oh yeah, it went. Your body reverberated, right? I mean that's just him shaking my hand, right? Was I felt it in my ribs?
Yeah.
Right. It's not like, and the guy, a guy like that, when you see him, and unfortunately now because of his injury, he walks kind of funny. And for me, when I seen it, I was like, oh man, I just feel for the guy. Right. I really did. I feel for the guy. Yeah. I'm watching this. The Preds and Wild are going absolutely nuts with each other right now. Right.
That's great.
I mean, it's like the Predators think that they're going to get into that number 3 spot, which isn't going to happen. But what, if anything, what the Preds are doing, they're showing Calgary that we're ready for them.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's huge. I think to me, I can see the Preds beating Calgary.
I really could as well.
Right. I can see, St. Louis and Minnesota going 6 or 7, but not a. I still, pardon me, see St. Louis winning that series.
Oh, absolutely. I think that you're being too nice. I really don't see that series going past 5 or 6.
Yeah, when you get to that game 6, when it's a 3-1, and you're able, or you get that 3-2 in game 6, that just changes everything. There's always something there, Dale's saying Probert and Twist are always classic. Yeah, they were both great. Yeah. Oh, he's talking about. I don't know who's in net for Minnesota right now. I haven't looked at the game sheet.
But Kenny didn't know that he got traded.
Say again.
Kenny didn't know that Fleury had been traded.
Fleury had been traded, yeah. Fleury. Well, I think he knew Fleury had been traded. I think he's surprised that Fleury's in net with the score being what it is. Them scoring three power play goals. Trying to pull up the event summary here real quick if I can. The event summary doesn't show. I got to go to the other thing for that. Game summary.
And what you said for Calgary too. I mean, Calgary's hungry. They really are. I mean, they had that 2020 season, and they had the last, like, what was it, guy, like 12 games left or something?
Yeah.
And it was Edmonton and Calgary.
Yeah.
And I know they've been frustrated since then. They're just begging for a playoff spot.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Calgary for me is, Flower's in net tonight. So, Kenny goes, now he does. Okay. I love Kenny. Kenny's an Aussie, by the way. He's an Australian. So, I have an international fan base, which surprises me. I don't know how I got it, but I do. And it's great that I do have it. But no, Calgary, the West to me is going to be the reason an East team will win the win the cup will be because the West destroys each other. Right. I don't put a lot of stock in the East. Right. You have, and I know you're a Bruins fan, my friend, and I get it, but I look at that and I go, the Bruins and the Capitals aren't getting out of the first round. I just don't see it. Not with, I don't think either team matches up well with either Carolina or Florida. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
Right.
And we talked about how Washington was one of those teams that, they're going through some troubles, and we also talked about how they're just not the same Capitals. I mean, you could be the President's Trophy winner and lose in the first round. They did that for many years until they finally won one.
Yeah. Right. And it's not just that. You look at Carolina and you look at Florida, and while they're doing well in the regular season, they also feel like they're kind of built for the postseason. Right. One of the things that I looked up earlier today was what I call total special teams or overall special teams. Right. And overall special teams to me is you take the net power play and the net penalty kill and add it together, right? And this gives you a real good understanding of what your special teams are. the Rangers are the best special teams team in the league at, and I got to make sure I get my number right, 118.2. Right? Second is St. Louis at 111. Make sure I get my numbers right. At 111.6. Right? Third, or actually, I got that wrong. The Maple Leafs are first. Okay? Maple Leafs are first at 118.2. St. Louis is second at 111.6. I'm trying to do math without a calculator. Not easy. And then you have the Rangers at 109.2. Right? And then it drops off. It drops off significantly. The Avalanche are at 105. Right? The Oilers are at 104.8. You're seeing a significant drop off. The Wild, who the Blues might face, right? The Wild are at 96.2. Right there, that tells me something. When you look at that overall special teams and the playoffs, special teams get magnified in the playoffs. We know that. 5-on-5 goals become much harder. You win or lose it in the box, right? You win or lose it in the box. And when you're talking about a team that is that much better than you in special teams, to me, that gives a definite advantage to teams. Now, one thing that I look at the Rangers. Well, the Rangers are playing Pittsburgh in that first round, more than likely Pittsburgh in that first round. Okay, the Rangers can get away with it and get up in there. But when you get into the second round against the Panthers, I think they'll play the Panthers, right? They're in that division? Or are they with Carolina? They might be with Carolina. But when you get to that point, I just don't see the Rangers. You know, I see that the power play, or that their special teams won't matter as much to me, because I think that Carolina is such a much better 5-on-5 team, right? That okay, you can get one power play goal or two power play goals. We're going to score 4 5-on-5. That's what I think about Florida. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of how I think about it.
I don't know about that.
Say again?
I don't know about that.
He's a plus 23. He's having a good year. I think that our defense is hurting without him. We hurt whenever he went out with COVID and had our first losing streak, and we're hurting now even though we're not losing. We definitely have a weakness on the defense without him.
I think our weakness with him is more offensively than defensively, to be honest.
He's actually doing really well numbers-wise in what he's producing.
Oh, no. Marc-Andre Fleury is finally finding out what Minnesota's defense is all about. And that was my concern. Remember when he got traded there? That was my concern, right? That was absolutely my concern. Was I didn't think Minnesota's defense, I thought it was going to, at some point, going to implode on him. And that's what I thought. I look at defense so differently than most people do. Mm-hmm. And I see Krug as a defensive liability in a lot of cases.
Okay. He, again, is a plus 24. He is got one more point than Falk and has only played 57 games to Falk's 63. He has 8 goals and 27 assists. So Krug is doing very well in the minimal games that he has played. Okay. I think that people underestimate him because he is a smaller D-man. He's been playing well. Okay.
I get that, and I see that, but to me, that's kind of it's more offensive numbers than defensively.
His defensive numbers are still there in the plus minus, and he's a plus 24. Yeah. So he's very equal with Falk. He is not our defensive liability. Bortuzzo is, and yes, Scandella, who I know I hate.
Yes, I know. You know, I'm never going to convince you that Scandella is better than what he thinks. Whatever.
I'll admit when he has a good game, but he didn't have a good game last night.
I don't think he had a bad game. Well, I mean, you key on him, so you're gonna. Maddie's looking at me like, what did I just get into?
I got a lot of amusement out of him going face first into the boards on his own. That was pretty funny.
The blue line tripped a few players up.
But you look at the Bruins defense and you look at yours and you look to see you have Torrey Krug, small guy, but he's very good as a defenseman. I mean, you look at Charlie McAvoy. He's a small little guy too and does good work. And I think Torrey Krug he does well if he's healthy, but I know he's been having health problems with what is he, lower body injuries?
Upper body this time. I think he broke his hand.
This time.
Broken finger,
okay.
I think. Right?
Oh, okay.
He got slashed across the hand, and as soon as he did, he dropped his glove. He dropped his hand straight up and went right off the ice. So
Marchand do it?
Say again?
Marchand do it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, but that wouldn't surprise me. Actually, I gotta give Matty credit. When we had our conversation, I brought up Marchand, and he said, "Oh, I'm not a fan of him," and I was like, "Whoa, a Boston guy, not a fan of Marchand."
I am to a point where I agree. Yes, I love to have him on my team, but you hate him if you don't. But at the same time, it's like his play over the years has gone from a very good goal scorer, talented. Now it's like, I'm gonna slash you in the face. I'm gonna
lick your face.
And, yeah.
Boston is getting a bit of a Boston has had it for a while, but Boston reputation for being dirty is getting more and more. It's creeping into the lexicon. It's becoming the norm, not the exception. I heard a lot.
What did you think of the Peaks hit the other day?
Which one?
The Peaks hit in Columbus.
I didn't. Be honest, I didn't see it. I'd have to go back and look at it. Right.
I thought it was a clean hit, but everybody's up in arms all over social media that he should be suspended. He's a disgrace to the league. And how can you blame other team? Like I said, he's on your team, but who but your team? Like the rest of the NHL is getting pissed, and I don't blame them.
Yep. Who made the hit? Was it a Marchand hit?
Marchand made the hit, and then on the same play, he went down and made a offensive. I think he got an assist on a goal as he hit the guy. Came back to the right into the zone.
Well, that was an amazing save Fleury just made. I mean, he just got left out to dry and somehow stopped the puck. I'm telling you, the Predators are playing for their playoff lives right now, and that's the way it absolutely seems. And they're sending a message to Calgary. Are you ready for us? That's the message they're sending. Are you ready for us? Right? I mean, that to me, that's exactly what's happening here. It's 4-1 with 10 minutes to go, right at the halfway mark of the game. So, right, it's just, and that Trashville is going absolute nuts, which is surprising because I didn't know those people knew how to cheer anything. I'm not a Nashville fan. I don't like the way their fans are. They are a bandwagon. They're one of the worst fan groups in the NHL, actually. Right?
I'll tell you. No, go ahead, Guy.
I was going to say they've displaced Boston.
Hey, we Boston fans are very dedicated. But my buddy went to Pittsburgh because he's a Bruins fan too. He went on this like crazy away game stuff. He even went to St. Louis too, I think. He traveled the Midwest. And he was telling me Pittsburgh's one of the worst places to go see. Like, they're a good place to go see a hockey game, but their fans are like just like zombies there because like they wait for it to say "Let's go Pens" or you hear that air horn. They wait to see a good hit or anything like that. I found that amazing that they kind of just go with the crowd flow. Yeah.
No, I've been in Pittsburgh and I remember that. Now this was a long time ago. I think this was in 2008, 7, late 2007. I think that I was there. Maybe 2008, somewhere around. Yeah, it was probably late 2000 and was right around. It was around Canadian Thanksgiving Day, so that would have been 2007, I think. I don't remember when Canada's Thanksgiving is. I honestly don't. So, but somewhere around that period. So I do kind of remember it a long, long time ago. God, I'm old. Yeah. So, no, I want to talk to Maddie a little bit about the East right now. So, with the East, do you think that I don't be honest, not as a Boston fan, not but as a hockey person, right now Tampa Bay is in that wild card spot, which I don't think is going to maintain, right? If Boston ends up, let's just say Boston gets either Toronto or Tampa in that first round, can you see them getting out of the first round? And if so, which team would they have the better chance of getting out of that first round against?
So I'll give you the two scenarios. We play Toronto, good, well-rounded team, but I think we would beat them in probably 5 games. Tampa Bay, going to be a very, very tough series for them. And I honestly, if the Tampa Bay Lightning of last year into now, I could see them beating them in 5. I'm meaning Tampa Bay beating the Bruins in 5. I would not want to play the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. And even if they did beat them in the first round, they'd be too tired and probably lose to the next team in the second round.
Mm-hmm. Well, so here's your other one. Let's say that Boston slips down into that wild card spot, which, they're a point out of it, right? The only reason they're in it right now is regulation wins. They have better regulation wins. So let's just say that Tampa does get that third spot and Boston falls into fourth and ends up facing Carolina in that first round.
They absolutely beat them.
You think so?
Beat them in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think Boston beats Carolina in 6?
I absolutely do.
Oh, I'm having a hard time.
I just don't agree with your Carolina stance, man. I just don't see them as a powerhouse team. I really don't.
They are, but it depends on who they're playing against. You get a team like Boston against them, then they're not going to be that powerhouse because Boston has their number.
That's kind of what I'm going with.
It's just like Minnesota. Yeah. Minnesota is a very good team, mm-hmm. but the Blues have their number. They don't play us very well. Carolina doesn't play Boston very well.
Yeah, but here's the difference between Carolina and Minnesota, right? Minnesota's 2 points behind the Blues. Are 3 points ahead of the Blues right now. Mm-hmm. Boston is 6 points, 8 points behind Carolina, right?
You see, but that doesn't matter because that it's different positioning. It would be like if the Blues landed in the wild card and played the Avs.
Okay, the Carolina has allowed 162 goals this season. That is the best in the league. That is a average of 2.35 goals per game. Goals in that series are going to be at a amazing premium. I don't think Boston has the offense to overcome that.
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
I would think you'd say defense, guy. I really do. Their defense is not their specialty. It hasn't been for a long time. And I just think that if you have the Bruins playing Carolina, I really do think we beat them. Not in the best fashion, but I think we beat them. Toronto, I think the same thing. I would be worried about Tampa more than anybody on that playoff spot. Even Florida.
I'm looking at some numbers here real quick, just trying to add some things up and get some things to make sure that I'm kind of looking at things right. Carolina, when it comes to special teams, that's where that series is going to be handled, because you're looking at Carolina's 2.35 goals per game. The Bruins, which surprises me, is at 2.65, right? The Bruins are scoring 3.16 goals per game, where Calgary's scoring 3.32. They're really pretty even, right? But when you look at overall special teams, you're looking at Carolina being, and I'm going to make sure 8, 9, 10, 11. You look at them being 100 maybe I got my numbers off here a little bit. 89.8 to 20 and 22.5. So that's 3. 8, 9. No, actually, they're actually might be in second ahead of the Blues, but I'm looking at 112.3 if my math is right.
All right, Guy. Let's go back to something else. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
When I'm kind of going to agree with Tammy here, and Jason Nichols that I had up, but Tammy says anything can happen in the playoffs. It's a whole new season, and that is correct.
I agree with
That's
that.
why there's a President's Trophy curse that everyone likes to talk about. Now, I don't believe in that kind of superstition.
That's what I said.
Statistically, the person that or the team that wins the President's Trophy doesn't go on to win the cup. So if your statistics were right all the time that you're focused on right now, that wouldn't happen. So statistics go out the window when the playoffs start. And just going by the eye test, I know Carolina's hard. I know that they've beat the Blues pretty bad, but I've also seen the Bruins have their number. So I'm going to have to go with the Bruins on 7 in that series if that happens.
Bruins on 7, yeah. In the higher games, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a short series, it's Carolina. I'm telling you, if it's a short series, it's Carolina. If it goes higher, I can see Boston pulling it out. Right? If it's 5 or less, it's Carolina winning that.
And I just see it from a different point. So we'll go with what is St. Louis now? What are they in their? What are the seed? Are they at?
We're in third right now.
We're in third.
And who would you be playing in the playoffs?
Minnesota.
You guys would win that series easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that we overmatch up well against them. We're 10. We have 2 games to play this season. That's 4 points. We're only 3 points behind them. And we're 10-1-1. Even if we split those 2 games coming up, we still have a lot of karma, good karma against them. And that's just what I think.
Just look at the Winter Classic game.
Yeah. Right. The Winter Classic, the game where they should have been on point. They should have been center. They were dismantled by St. Louis, and the extra goals they got in the third kind of don't matter.
Yeah, it was more of St. Louis going easy on them because they had already destroyed them in the second. Yeah,
I'm with that.
But the good thing for you guys, when you had that game, you guys kept winning. Problem with Boston is when we had the one in Nevada, we played Philly again. We smoked them that night, and then our season just went down, and we barely made the playoffs. So it's a good thing you guys took that momentum away from Minnesota.
Yeah, it's been, St. Louis has had a few hiccups along the way and lately, and the St. Louis fan base. I love the St. Louis fan base. I really do. However, it is one of the most fickle fan bases I've ever dealt with. Right? I really believe that is a very fickle fan base. They go, and my buddy Mike Dante, and I love him to death, but he is the epitome of the St. Louis Blues fan base. He will go, and this is during a 60-minute game, from the Blues are the best team going to win the cup to this team doesn't even deserve to be in the playoffs in the matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. Back to we're going to win the cup, and it's just that quick. Right. So, that's what makes this fan base so hard to deal with sometimes. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it does make things, it's hard to get them to look at the game from outside of the surface. And that's what I think that with the NHL of all the games that you can play, the surface is the surface in the NHL does never tell the story. I mean, it does in a lot of other sports, but it does not tell the story in the NHL, not in the least bit in my eyes.
Well, I'll tell you, Bruins fans are just as much to blame that stuff too. One moment, we suck. We're not even going to make it to the playoffs. Oh, but Bergeron had 3 goals tonight, so yeah, we're making the playoffs for sure. It's an up and down game. Fans, if your team's winning, you're great. Now, I mean, I'd be a very, very hard Phoenix fan for that matter. I don't know if I could do it. And I mean, Jesus, you're relying on a guy who is a pile of mush in Phil Kessel.
Yeah, no, that fan base right there is I don't even know if they have a fan base, to be honest with you.
Between the lack of a building that is actually up to NHL standards and
the NHL there.
They're moving to a 3,000 stadium, 3,000 people capacity.
That's what I'm saying. That's not NHL.
That's a little bit larger than that. I think it's 11. I think it's 11.
No, it was single digits.
Single digits?
Like not. It's still 1,000, but it's single thousand, not.
Yeah, I thought
10 right.
And then it might have been because I know they were drawing 11 now, right? I know they're averaging 11 now, and I thought it was something like similar to that. The 2 numbers pop into my head: 5 and 8. That it was either 5,000 or 8,000.
5,000.
5,000. So
5. Yeah, you're playing at Arizona State's hockey rink, and they're probably better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should have an Arizona Classic.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah. It's gonna be interesting for a couple of years till they get that figured out. Till they get that new arena built in Tempe. I think that's where they're building it in Tempe. But it's going to be for them. That's an ownership issue that somehow needs to get fixed. Unfortunately, there's too many Harry Ornests in the NHL these days. And if you don't know who Harry Ornest is, he's the guy that while he saved the Blues was an absolute penny pincher, right? One of the things Susie Matteau used to tell us, and she was the Blues public relations, and I wish she still was. I wish she would have never retired because the guys she got now, she would have knew how to handle guys like me and would have been, a secure in her position to tell a GM to go kiss her ass. But that's who she was, right? That's exactly who she was. And she tells the stories of, and even, who was it? And I can't think of his name here. They've told the stories of this. They would, like if they were supposed to go to Pittsburgh for a game, they would book one-way trips. They would fly from St. Louis to Atlanta to New Jersey, and New Jersey to Pittsburgh because it was cheaper than going direct. Right? Yeah. That's what it was. Pinching. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but then again, he in 3 years, he sold the team for triple what he bought it for. Right?
Smart man.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what you have with some of these owners now. And actually, for me, what I think is going to be the most interesting story in the NHL in the next 2 years is going to be Ottawa, right? Right. I really think that Ottawa, with the death of Melnyk and how that organization, who's going to take over that organization, what they want to put into it, who they're going to hire, what's their goal with that organization, is going to definitely be something to watch and something worth paying attention to, because it's going to affect future expansion and future relocation.
They went with the domino effect, though. They basically just said, we'll trade you and you and you and you, and we'll trade you away. They pretty much just mass all traded everybody. That was Ottawa's downfall.
Yeah,
now,
but
if they want to be an elite the same way, they need to rebuild. Big rebuild.
Well, that's the thing, and it's going to be what his daughters. I think his oldest daughter's only 24. Right?
Oh, wow.
You have a 24-year-old in charge of a National Hockey League team. Right? Now, again, that doesn't mean anything. I'm not, because, sometimes having someone that thinks out of the box or whatever, but it's all going to depend on what the team means. And to me, it's a Ram situation, right? With Georgia Fontier. When she passed, unfortunately, one of her partners was Stan Kroenke, and Stan Kroenke had a thing that if her children didn't want the team, he could buy the team at this, below below market value, which made all the sense in the world, and then he destroyed the team so we could move him. Well, you don't know what's going to happen in Ottawa. That's the thing with me. It's not the on ice product. I think it's going to be the off ice. That's going to be very, very interesting in the next couple of years, right? Think about this. A guy like that, his will doesn't go to probate tomorrow, right? It takes 6 months to a year before his will comes out of probate, right? And that's something to be aware of, because that was the same thing with George's, right? It took Kroenke almost 1.5 years, 2 years to finally make that deal for the team, right? So it wasn't something that happened right away. So that's what I think is going to really make things interesting when it comes to Ottawa. Right? Well, we got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about the Schwartz coming back to St. Louis for the first time. The last time Seattle played St. Louis, he was injured. It looks like he is playing now, and that he will be with the Kraken as he returns to St. Louis. What kind of reception does he get, Ashley?
I mean, honestly, we gave Dunn a warm reception. I don't see St. Louis not doing the same for Schwartz. I mean, he was part of the team that brought the cup here. He's going to get a warm welcome back.
Yeah, I can see that. We talked a little bit about Dunn yesterday, and one of the things that I brought up is narrative got brought up, right? And I in my post game or in my pregame, I had put the we lose to bad teams or we play down to bad teams narrative is coming into play, right? And this got brought up in the post game, and I said, well, this is the same thing as the Tarasenko narrative, and that was, oh my goodness, they left Tarasenko unprotected. That means that all that trade stuff is true, and they're trying to get rid of him. That's not even close to what the truth was there. The truth was, in order to protect Tarasenko, you had to leave Barbashev unprotected. And knowing that Seattle was going for young talent, right? That's what they were going for. He is not playing. Are we sure about that, E? Because I was told he's been in the lineup in the last couple of games.
I'm going to look at their last game to see.
Okay. All right. Ryan Getzlaf retired today. So back to what I was saying, the narrative was that they left Tarasenko unprotected because they wanted to get rid of him, and they left him unprotected because they wanted to protect Barbashev. Right? They knew that Seattle was going for young guys. They were trying to build from the bottom up. They weren't trying to bring in all these veterans, 1 and 2 year veterans, to win now. They were going to teach their fan base to lose because they have a hockey fan base and they could do that. Right? A lot of Seattle fans are Canuck fans because they're what, 50 miles apart? 60 miles, 100 miles apart. I mean, they're driving distance, right? It's almost like a Twin Cities thing.
Schwartz didn't play against Dallas, which was their last game, so he might not be on this road trip.
Oh, wow. Surprising. I was told that he was playing. Okay. Interesting. Tammy says Schwartz is not playing tomorrow night. Oh, wow. I would hope. Oh, wow. So that means we're going to have to wait another year. Right? And that's if he's back. He signed a pretty good deal with them, though I could see him possibly trading him. Oh, interesting. Tammy says, don't even think he's coming. I thought his injury was healed. I wonder if there's another reason. Right? But so that's where I was thinking. That's why, for me, that's how that narrative stuff came up. It had nothing to do with Tarasenko, and all that trade stuff. It had everything to do with who do you protect more, Barbashev or Dunn. Right? If you wanted Barbashev, you gotta put somebody out there that they know they're not going to take. Right? And honestly, they could have put O'Reilly out there, and I don't think they take him. Now, the sense was to put Tarasenko out there because of the injury concerns, which were bogus they weren't bogus, but they ended up being non-consequential. But it's that type of, this is where I wish I was a GM sometimes, because the weeds that they got into with this, I enjoy it. I like it. I would love to have unfettered access to Armstrong to ask him questions like that, because that's the kind of questions he needs to be asked, right? But it is what it is. I don't have it. I will never get it, but that's what I think, right? Good hour, man. Maddie, thank you. Matt,
You're
thanks
welcome.
so much, man. I really appreciate that.
And
Guy?
I think you should.
Yes.
Oh, go.
Hold on a second.
No, go ahead, Matt.
No, go, Matt.
I was just saying, you guys can give us Ryan O'Reilly if you want. We'll give you a DeBrusque.
Nope. No, thank you.
Nope, not happening.
Especially after what ended up happening to oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name.
Marchand?
No, they took our captain, and then he didn't play very well there.
Chara?
Oh, in Boston?
Yeah, Boston. They signed.
I know who you're thinking of.
He just retired.
Backus.
Yes.
Backus.
Yeah, Backus. Right. Yep. David Backus. Yep.
But anyway, Schwartz has missed 5 games with an upper body injury, and it doesn't look like there's a timetable on him coming back.
Yeah, it's a new injury then, or it might be a repeat of his original injury.
Yeah.
A re-injure. So, but I do know he did come back. So that's the thing. So I thought
he did come back, but he's missed the last 5 games. Yeah. This will be his 6th.
Wow. Well, I guess there's another spot where Armstrong turned out to be right. You know, Armstrong only made one move this season that I didn't like, and I'm going to stick with it. And I know Ashley will disagree with me because if he sticks with this move, the other move he made doesn't happen, right? And for me, it was Hoffman. I really think Mike Hoffman would have done so well on this team.
No, I strongly disagree with how injury prone he was, because he was injured before they even met.
Yeah, but he got injured in an off-season incident at work. He pulled something working out.
Yes. So, I mean, he's injury prone. He hasn't been having a good season, which, he might have had a better season here. However, we're not going to know that. But Saad has been amazing, and Saad's numbers are better than what Hoffman's numbers were last season. And it doesn't matter what line we put him on. 3rd line. He's even played on the 4th line, and he still produces. So, no, I would stick with letting Hoffman go and signing Saad.
And I knew you would, and that's a fair point. It is. It's a fair point. However, I have a man crush on Hoffman, so.
Well, Saad's very pretty, and he scores pretty goals.
And he sticks up for his team very well.
Exactly.
He did in the playoffs in 2013.
You know, I have this. So this is.
Yes, you have a man crush on Hoffman. I'm well aware of this. I loved when Hoffman got signed. I really did think in that short season it was going to help us rebound heavily, and it really should have. Utilized well, I will admit that, but he's a one-trick pony, whereas Saad can do whatever you need him to do. You know, I'm not going to disagree with that. Saad has played really, really well, right? And also what I think they did instead of the other move they made, which Saad could have probably still come here, but the other move may not happen. The trade for Buchnevich. I'm sorry, but I would rather have. And you know what? I agree with you. I will take Buchnevich over. I will take Buchnevich over Hoffman any day of the week, right? What Buchnevich has done here in St. Louis is nothing short of extraordinary, right? We knew he was good. We know how good he could be. And he has come here and he has been that guy. He's been our Marchand without being Marchand. Well, I don't know. He did have a headbutt in like the second game of the season. Yeah, but that was one, and it was. I
actually go back and look at that play, and I'm not upset with that headbutt.
I'm not either. I mean, he was
hit
totally into it, and he had reason to be that way.
He got hit in the gems, right? I mean, if you look back at that play, he got a couple whacks in the gems that kind of, at some point, you whack me in the gems a couple of times, I'm going to make sure you feel it too, right? And so I'm not as upset with that little headbutt as everybody else is, right? Saad is just done, the Blues sitting there, they can end up with nine 20-goal scorers, and that's the most they've had since 1980. And this is where I'm going to sit there and tell everybody, you want to know where you heard that first? You heard that first here 2 months ago. I brought that up, right? Back in early February, I brought that up, that there was a good chance that this was going to be like the 80s team with all these 20-goal scorers, right? Put on some 80s prescription glasses, and Saad is Ted Bundy. Gems is a very appropriate term.
I thought they were talking about Booch.
I don't know. Were they talking about Booch?
Yeah, it was Booch.
Is Booch who's 20? Saad is 20, right?
Yeah, no, they don't like that he wears number 20 because they're still stuck on Steen.
Oh, I'm okay with that. To me, Steen's number will never be retired.
No, it wouldn't.
Right? Steen was good while he was here, but he really was. Scroll up. I thought it was 20. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it is. Saad looks like his pick belongs in the post office with the most wanted, a serial killer. No. See, I did think it was Saad. I thought it was. So
no, he's pretty.
Right. Yeah, so it was Saad. So I know Ashley likes Saad, but
he's pretty.
No. I even lost what I was. Steen was never really more than a third line player. I mean, he may have been up on a second line player on the second line, but he really wasn't. Right? He did. Part of the reason we won the cup was him being on that fourth line against Boston. Right? And I will admit that. And you got to give Berube. This is one thing that I will give Berube credit for. You have 7-game series against Boston, who everybody thought was going to beat you no matter what, right? That everyone had Boston winning this, and you put your fourth line out against their best line every single game. Didn't matter who you put out; he put out his fourth line. The fourth line took that opening faceoff, started every single game. He was telling you, be ready to get hit. Right? Be ready to get grinded on. We're going to grind. And their skill came off in 2 games. It came off in game 3. It came off in game 6. But every other game, the grind won that game. Right? And the grind won game 2. The grind won game 4. Grind definitely won game 5. And to me, the grind is what won game 7. And that's the type of team that's going to take Boston down, a team that can grind them down. Even now, I think that you can grind them down. I don't think that they've gotten tougher. I think they've gotten looser.
Maddie, you're getting some love.
Yep, I seen that.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
yep.
Your beard is apparently amazing.
Thank you, thank you, Tanner. That's so nice of you.
Right.
So my last thing is, I'm sure we're going to have a couple of battles, me and you, Guy, with Marchand in your playoff victory against us. I'm sure it's going to be a battle for years to come.
No, well, you know what? I like I said, I forget. I can't remember who it was. It was either it was either Butler or Chris Butler or Chris Thornburn, but one of them told me. And it might have been Butler. Butler Thornburn was an actual member of the Blue. He was on the 23-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
Butler was a black ace, but because Butler had time with the Blues a couple of different times, they did allow him he was in some of the locker rooms, right?
Yeah, you have a minimum amount of games.
Right. So he remembered telling me it was at the second period of one of the games, and he came in. It was one of the games, and Tarasenko basically said, "If that MFer takes another run at my knees, I'm going to chop his head off," or something to that. I mean, he was done with them, right? He was absolutely done with them, and I think that is when. And I'm lost in the guy that's on Tampa Bay right now.
Maroon.
Pat Maroon starts shadowing Butler or shadowing Marchand, right? Oh, he was for a while, Matt Lowe. He was the captain of the Wolves for 2 or 3 years, right? He was really Butler was very, very respected in the Blues organization, right? He was that guy that brought guys up. He was that guy that taught him what the Blue Note meant. He was a St. Louis kid, and he did bring that to fruition numerous times.
Mm-hmm. And what you're saying, Guy, was doing the fourth line against your first line. That's a statement move. Like if our fourth line can take care of your fourth in the first shift, we're ready for you. And you ended up winning the series, but hard fought. But I wasn't impressed with that playoffs. But I'm glad that St. Louis at least won it, and not, I mean, you look at Montreal now.
Yeah.
Absolute worst in the league. Yeah. And they were just in a Stanley Cup run last year. So everything changes. But St. Louis is still continuing on. The Bruins are still continuing on. Maybe we'll have a Stanley Cup battle again. Who knows?
It'd be a lot of fun if it was.
And then Ryan O'Reilly gets traded to the Bruins.
Not happening, man. Sorry.
No, it's highly possible that, it is within the next. See, a lot of people think that St. Louis's window is closing, and I don't. I think it's opening back up, right? And the reason I say that is you look at the way they're set up for the next couple of years and the depth they have down in the minor leagues. Look at a guy like Walker. You can get Walker is a third-line guy, borderline second-line guy, who's an energy guy, who's going to get you points, right? He's scoring a goal every half game. Just almost every half game. He's on like an 36-goal streak, 36-goal, what do you call it, average or whatever, pace. He's on a 36-goal pace. You have him, you can pick him up for 2 years for $1.5 million, right? That's nothing. Nothing. That's a small raise, but you can get him for 2 years. You have Brown. You've got Brown locked up. You're going to be able to lock up Kyrou for 4 or 5 years. You're going to lock up Thomas for a couple of years. You have both O'Reilly and Tarasenko, who more than likely are near the end of their career at that 34, 35-year mark. They're going to go ahead and give you that hometown discount coming up. You're going to be able to bring in another mid-level guy or a young guy.
Time out. Tarasenko is only 30. He's not 34.
30? I thought it was a little. Well, he
just turned 30 in December. Okay. Don't age him.
Okay. So 31. So in his 32 season, he's going to be a free agent again. And what's O'Reilly at?
I think he's 31.
Yeah, so he's going to be 32. He's going to be 32. Tarasenko's going to be 31 coming into their free agent seasons, right?
Yeah, he's 31.
Yeah.
But he just turned it, just like Tarasenko just turned 30.
30
in December.
Okay. So they've got good years ahead of them, and they've made their money already to where I think you can get them for $1 million or $2 million less. I really do.
Well, with O'Reilly, you age much more when you play for the Buffalo Sabres, so it actually is probably 36 right now.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. But no, I think, but you look what, and then you got, Neighbors. Yeah, Jake Neighbors. Oh, did you see the video of him?
Yes,
Ashley?
That was hilarious.
Oh, that was amazing. So, Maddie, I don't think you've seen this. On April Fool's Day, the Blues played Edmonton in Edmonton. Jake Neighbors, our number one pick last year or 2 years ago, plays for the Edmonton Oil Kings. It's his junior team. They got him. He got, I don't know if he did it or how, but he got a hold of the Blues and he went to the game as a Blues fan, disguised as a Blues fan, stood right there at the bench and got guys to give him sticks, one
Pucks?
stick, 2 pucks, fist bump him, and not one of them figured out it was him.
Oh, yes. Actually, Shen knew it was him because he signed to stay on his diet.
Oh, stay on his diet. So Shen gave him his stick.
Yeah, he signed the stick.
Yeah.
Jakey, stay on your diet.
Okay. So Shen caught it though. Yeah, no, it was hilarious, and it was really funny. It was a great, as much as I hate April Fool's shit, it was a great April Fool's prank, and see, that one I can enjoy. That one I can enjoy. Some of the other stuff, yeah, I don't get. Like, I thought Bennington was starting on the 4th, and that was because of an April Fool's, someone being an April Fool's idiot, right? And that's what kind of ticks me off.
Yeah, I did,
because I hadn't seen anything. Maddie, enjoy Disney. Are you in World or Land?
World.
You're down there in Florida. You're down in the land of that's the Panthers, right?
Both. I think Tampa's closer, actually.
Tampa's
Isn't Tampa closer than the Panthers, where they play? Oh. Wife of Maddie C has no idea how far apart they are.
No problem. I you know what, guys, I really appreciate both of you guys coming on the show. Ashley, so nice to have you after a short absence. We're glad to have you. Tomorrow night, the Blues are going to take on the Seattle Kraken in St. Louis. Big 2 points. Yes, I know that we're ahead of them, but that narrative comes right back. You know, Blues play down. They cannot play down tomorrow. They've got to go in. They got to look at the Kraken like the Avalanche are coming into town and bury the puck. And they got to do it quicker than the second period. They cannot do what they did they've got to figure that out. They got to figure that plant starting slow out. We'll talk about that tomorrow at 6:30 Central Daylight Time. I got to remember that. Maddie, thanks so much for coming on, man. And like I said, anytime.
No problem.
Me and Maddie talked for almost 2 hours.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. He's got a lot of good points.
Yeah, me and Maddie talked for like 2 hours.
I could be on his show anytime, or vice versa. But you're live, so it's better for me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a Jean-Claude Van Damme show, right?
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Say again.
You're gonna have the sudden death Jean-Claude Van Damme episode?
Oh yeah. I gotta find that movie. I haven't seen it in decades.
Oh, so, that movie is so awesome.
It is. He wants to talk about that and some of the things that were the hockey that was going on in that. I gotta watch it again because I don't remember it. It was a great movie. It was a really good movie.
A lot of dump and chase.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of dump and chase in that. So, I want to read up on that, but we'll get that set. That is not a final. Or is it? No, it's at the second intermission. So, as we go
Bruins,
off,
I think
it
lost
is
42.
Say again.
I think the Bruins lost 4-2 in Detroit.
Well, that's a good loss.
Oh, hush you.
Yeah, I know. And we have Tony Twist on Thursday. He is my scheduled guest. I cannot wait. I know Maddie's excited about that one.
I am. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous.
There's 2 minutes left, and the score is 4-3 Red Wings. Boston can come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so my honor was getting to meet PJ Stock. That was one of my idols. He came on my show. He's a cool dude.
Right. Well, you got the one that I haven't sent the email to yet that I need to. I just have some other things going on. But
please let me know if you do.
Yeah, I will. I'll probably end up doing that next week when things kind of settle down with some other stuff I got going on. But like I said, I would love to talk to him, and I hope I can. Right, like that's he's my Grant Fuhr to you, right? You know, the fact that you got him, to me, it was like me getting Grant Fuhr, right? So that's just an amazing one. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. Well, I mean, an hour show, we're at the 1:15 mark. Woo-wee, what a good night. And we were staying up to 16, 17 people late into the showing, so I really appreciate that. Maddie, have a great night. Thank you so much. Ashley,
same
again.
to you and Ashley.
Love having you as my co-host. Sorry, I didn't mean to walk over you there, Maddie. Ashley,
send me your info stuff so I can follow you and Guy.
Okay, absolutely.
Yep. We Maddie, it's great having you here. Great having Ashley. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow night Actually, and then Thursday, I'm doing 2 shows Thursday. I forgot to mention that. I am going to do a special Cardinals opening day, right? About an hour before. I'm going to go on and talk about, the opening day and, some of my memories, what's going on, some of my thoughts about it's hard to do a daily podcast or something, a game by game podcast like I do for hockey. It's hard to do that, but I do want to talk a little bit about the Cardinals and we want to work on something with that. I know Ashley's not a baseball fan, but living in St. Louis, that's kind of a religion. And, it's like Boston. Boston has Patriots Day, has their own like local holiday.
Yep. Opening, Red Sox at 11 on Marathon Monday.
Yeah. But for us, opening night, opening day in St. Louis, that is a local holiday, right? More people.
Okay.
You know how people say they go out and say during the March Madness that first week, that Thursday, Friday, that more people call in sick on those days than anywhere else. Well, in St. Louis, it's opening day, right? There are a lot of companies that actually make that a holiday now because they just know people are going to call in sick.
That's amazing. Right?
Yeah. No, it is by far one of the great events. I've been to a couple opening days. It is something to watch, and I love it. Okay, guys, this is Guy the Hawaii Blues fan saying aloha, mahalo. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you tomorrow night on the Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha.